Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. A storm is coming, according to Ruben Amorim. We have got quotes from his embargo section last night, and I also think he's done an interview with the club as well. So there's a couple of interesting quotes that I definitely want to dive into. In fact, let me just show you the topics on the screen. If you are on YouTube currently at the moment, these are the topics we're going to be running through. So Amorim's warning to the players. Ahmad's future. He gives a little hint into that in terms of what both parties want. Mazraoui and the LGBTQ, if I've got that right, that kind of situation that's ongoing with Adidas. And also Luke Shaw's injury, because I didn't get a chance to touch on that last night because we did the Premier League predictions. So I want to give my opinions on that. They're the four topics that we're going to be discussing, and we're going to kick things off with Amorim's quotes. It's that time of the year where you just get a cold, a sore throat, nose running like a tap. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of this because throat needs lubricating, you know what I mean? So, I'll be able to make it. I'll crack on. We'll be all right. Obviously, I'm just joking. Anyway, there was a quote. This quote is the individual one that I picked out. There's quite a few to kind of sift through from the embargo section last night. But he basically being asked about his progress at Manchester United and, you know, as any changes that he expects or just little things like that. And he was saying, I would like to say different things, but I have to say it again. The storm will come. I don't know if you use that expression, but we're going to have difficult moments and we will be found out in some games. Now, I thought that was quite interesting on the kind of the horizon of the Arsenal game tonight, because I think fans' expectations and fans naturally anyway, just as human beings, get a little bit carried away when you see a situation like, obviously the Ipswich game wasn't the start that everyone wanted, which I fully understand, but then obviously beating Bodo Glimt, scoring 3 goals, you had Rasmus getting a brace, and then beating Everton 4-0 at home. I do think he's just kind of tempering expectations just a little bit, just to say, listen, don't get too ahead of yourselves. Arsenal, if we give them the space that we give to Everton, apologies, if we give them the space that we give to Everton with the form that Saka's in and Ødegaard and all these guys, like, it's going to be a tricky fixture. So I understand that completely, what he's saying there. He is kind of temper expectations. And what he wants to see from the players, he's saying winning all the time, but especially with courage, that is important for us. We need to have the ball. These kind of details are important to show what we want to be in the future. And I think you're already really seeing examples of what Amorim wants from his team. He wants high press, courage, like he's talking about there, intensity, wants the rhythm to pick up consistently and just, you know, be playing vertical passes. But also dominating games, and it's going to take a while with this set of players because we've tried it before and they struggle. You do have other players in that team like Mazraoui, like Ahmad, who are able to take it under pressure and offer solutions, and he alluded to this again in his interview where he was talking about, you know, if we had another 10 Mazraouis, you'd be okay, because technically on all aspects he's polished. Like I said, he offers solutions in any area of the pitch, any area of the pitch, pretty much. So he has an identity of player that he wants, and I think you give him a couple of windows, you can make. I know signing a player like Mazraoui for 12 million doesn't happen all the time, and it can be a one-off. But if we can bring in more players who are that technically good, but also have the defensive side of it as well, I think that'll be a big help. I think Euro can be one of those. I think it's going to be interesting tonight. I mean, we could kind of discuss the Luke Shaw thing anyway, because it's just there in it. It's just like everyone, it's the elephant in the room. And obviously I'm not alluding to Luke Shaw being an elephant, even though people like to, which I don't get because the guy's shredded. But anyway, yeah, Luke Shaw's an issue, isn't it? It's a big issue because obviously it's not his fault. You've got a lot of people going on him, I'll say fucking sell him and do this and da. And Marshall had the same treatment, and I get it. Sometimes I overdid it a little bit with players like that. But I just think, like, it is time. It's time. You can't keep relying on this player, man. And I feel sorry for him. Obviously, he wants to be back on the pitch more than anyone, more than any of the fans. And people will throw that England thing in your face as well. But I do feel sorry for him because he's just getting back there. It looks all right. It's like that left centre-back role would be perfect for him. He's got all the experience in the world. He's nearly been at Manchester United now for a decade. So it's perfect. But he can't. His body is broken down. Like, if you speak to people around the club, or people who are close, who have good connections with the club, they're just saying his body's completely broken, man. Completely broken. So it's a shame, because I thought he could have fit in that role really, really well, and I thought we definitely could have done with him tonight. I don't know who's going to play in that left centre-back role tonight, but if you're putting Johnny Evans there or Maguire, no. The mobility and the lack of pace, you are going to get murdered, absolutely murdered in there. So whether he maybe moves Mazraoui over to left centre-back and then starts Yoro at right centre-back, I don't think he'll do that, though, because he was speaking about Yoro, and he was saying he's been so much better physically. We're taking care of him because he's so important for us. It was a long time since he played. Does that sound like a guy who's going to play him from the start? It just doesn't feel like it, does it? So, and I wouldn't throw him in from the start necessarily. I just don't know who's going to play there. Genuinely don't know who's going to play there. Speaking about Arsenal, Ruben Amorim said they have a lot of years working, so it's in a different moment compared to us. But a game is a game, so we'll try to win it and try to improve our team and try to show our game. Yeah, I'll throw the question back to you guys. Who would you play in that left centre-back role tonight? Give me some opinions. Use your manager's brain. Talk to me. What are we saying? James McGrogan, good afternoon, Nick. Afternoon to you, sir. Hope you're okay. Christopher Breen, why does your throat need so much lubricant? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. It's too early for that. We're in the afternoon. You don't need that kind of... You know what I'm saying? My throat's just dry, man. It's just, Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Me too, can't see it though. Moomer's saying, I hope we win. Dan Errington saying, do you think Yoro will play more than 20-25 minutes? I think he'll probably play around that, Dan. I think Saka will have a lot of joy, I'm afraid to admit. Yep, spot on, Chris. And Moon is saying, nothing impossible in football. Arsenal are not unbeatable, though. I'm not expecting anything, but let's hope we win. Look, Arsenal are starting to tick again. Yeah, if you watch the football they played, if you watch them against... West Ham recently and a couple of other games before, Nottingham Forest as well. Ødegaard being back in that side is monumental for him. It's like us losing Bruno Fernandes. There's a huge creative hole, and when he comes back, everything just clicks again and everything connects, especially with that relationship with Bukayo Saka. So, and I feel like Bruno and Ahmad could have a similar relationship. I don't know what anyone else feels like, but yeah, obviously Ødegaard being back is mega for him, and they missed Gabriel for a couple and Saliba, and it was that kind of iffy and jiffy and all that kind of stuff. But they are playing really good football again. But you can get at them. You can. I've watched... So last night I went through the past kind of 3-4 games to watch them to see what kind of goals they were conceding. And it was always kind of in the channels. So the right channel or the left channel, and playing through balls, cutting them quickly. So your Brunos and Mason Mount and these kind of guys would be really, really important in this kind of game. And also Rashford and Ahmad and these guys. So you can get at them. We've done it to Arsenal before. We've done it at Old Trafford. We've done it, numerous times. So we always have that counter-attacking threat with just naturally with the players that we've got. I think it'll be a bit more watertight tonight. It'll be more of a back five. I think we'll get pinned back a little bit. But we'll have moments, and if you take the moments, we've got a lot of attackers at the moment who are scoring goals, who are getting assists, so they're on form, they're confident. There's no reason why you can't get a draw at the Emirates or something. I fully believe that. I think United could put on a big disappointment. If we beat Liverpool tonight, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because yes, we beat them, we're closing the gap, but then Liverpool go like 13 points clear of Arsenal, and they're already 11, 12 points clear of City. So... it's kind of like you can't have it both ways, unfortunately. Maz left. So Dan's putting his opinion saying Maz left centre back, De Ligt centre back, Maguire right centre back. I tell you what, Maguire though, the mobility. I mean, maybe you get away with it a bit more because obviously Trossard on that left hand side isn't the absolute quickest, but he can chop and turn. I'm just thinking mobility. I think he might struggle. I don't know how he's going to do this. I don't know how he's going to do it. Who knows? Maybe he'll throw Kroenke in there, the youngster. I doubt that. But obviously, he's highly thought of under Ruben Amorim, at least, because he's in the team. I don't know. It's a tricky one in it to navigate that. I think you're going to struggle whichever kind of player that you go with. But yeah, just quickly on Amad Diallo. Ruben Amorim got asked about his contract situation last night, and he's saying, I think he wants to stay, and we want him to stay. That is clear, and we will find a solution. I know he's got, like, I think his contract runs out at the end of the year, but there's an extension there as well, so there's a bit of a bubble that you can move into. That's fine. But with Ahmad, you absolutely, categorically, 1,000,000% have to give him a contract. Have to. No ifs, buts, or coconuts. Give that man a contract. He could play in 3-4 positions. His work rate is incredible, which you saw against Everton. The counter press was super effective. And he's becoming a superstar. He's so, so good. And obviously, with a talent like that, why would you ever let him go? It'd just be stupid, wouldn't it? So I'm glad United are working on it. Obviously, Ruben Amorim wants him. Ahmad wants to stay. That's fine. He's definitely got a future at Man United. I know, obviously, Cobby's just signed a new deal recently, hasn't he? Has that been confirmed? I need to double check that. Garnacho's contract. These kind of players you need to keep around and keep on top of the contracts. And I'm sure Ineos, with the well-oiled people that they've got in that system, I'm sure that'll be fine. So yeah, just keep an eye on Ahmad. Loads of reports on the Ten Hag he didn't feel wanted. Obviously, he couldn't get a game over Forson, Anthony and Pellistri, which I was talking about yesterday. So you understand it. But he's bided his time. He stayed patient. And he's got his rewards. Because now, I don't know about... You guys would probably agree. I'm guessing. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. Onana, Mazraoui, and Ahmad, for me at least, are the 3 names that I'm like, definitely should be on the team sheet. 1,000,000%. So I'm happy with his progress. I'm proud of him. He's come a long way from Atalanta's academy, loan spells, struggled up at Rangers, went to Sunderland, really flourished under Tony Mowbray, was one of their best players, if not their best player. Come back, had to wait a bit of time again, and then finally got into the first team. But if that's not like a story of persistence and just keep going for any young players that are coming up, I don't know what is, So I'm happy for him. Really, really happy for him. Wing backs Dallo and Ahmad. Prabhav in the chat saying hello, folks. Brian Casey did Evans travel. Seems a bit soon to throw Yoro in. The thing is, Evans played left centre back against Ipswich, didn't he? And Amari Hutchinson on that side just got way too much way too much space. Because the mobility, that's just just trying to press in, get back into a certain situation or a certain area and dealing with a threat. I don't know. I'm worried. I think Saka will be licking his lips tonight. But I'm hoping wrong. I'll just say. If there are anyone on TikTok or YouTube currently watching right now, drop us a follow on TikTok, smash a like in the video, and subscribe to Real Reds Talk as well. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're currently nearly on 30k on TikTok as well. But we're just, I think, 1,300 and, Jesus Christ, my math, 74, I think, roughly, until we get to 10k. I don't know if that math's correct. But anyway, subscribe if you are new and if you enjoy the content, and leave a like for us as well. Play Maz at left centre back. You can keep an eye on Saka and Odegaard, plus orchestrate with the wing back with those two defensively. Cassie and Ugarte will be hard to break down. I'm a fan of that midfielder partnership. I think that'll be good for this game. Dan Errington saying, according to Fabrizio, it's virtually all done 6 year with an option for Fervier. That's fantastic. Rayanator saying, afternoon, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're well as well, Rayanator. Looking forward to tonight. Have you covered the Mazraoui situation yet? I'm just about to get into that in a moment. And obviously, when I do go into it, please be respectful. Usually you get some idiots. I'm not speaking about specifics, but on TikTok especially, when you cover these kind of sensitive topics, you get people that are just, buffoons, basically. So, UTFR in the chat. Big up you, bro. Hope you're good. Saying Maz, Delit, Malacia, defence. Malacia? As a left centre-back? I don't know about that. That'd be interesting. Delit, red, Maguire, central, cover balls over the top, Maz, central back, Ugarte and Castan, Ahmad and Dallo, wing back, Ahmad, left wing back. Genuinely believe Maz and Ahmad would do a job on that side. Yeah, I think Mazraoui left centre-back's to shout, and then if you're going to have a deficiency or you're going to have a weakness, maybe play Maguire as the right centre-back, potentially. I just don't see what else you do. I would love to play Yoro. If Yoro was fit and available, it wouldn't even be a conversation, in my opinion. But maybe you can get away with it for 45 with Maguire as the right-sided centre-half, and then you bring Yoro on for the last 45 minutes or 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Oh, my God. Every single year, around this period, cold season, man. Horrible. I can never taste me Christmas dinner or anything. Right. Let's dive into this Mazraoui situation then. So I'll read out the couple of things that's in here. So a source has said Adidas are disappointed that Man United chose not to wear tracksuits supporting the LGBTQ plus community versus Everton after Noussiar Mazraoui said he was not prepared to use one when warming up due to his religious beliefs. United's statement in response to players not wearing an LGBTQ plus jacket: players are entitled to hold their own individual opinions, particular in relation to their faith, and these may sometimes differ from the club's position. Now, not to echo that and just to be, not have my own thoughts, but I read that statement and I was like, I absolutely agree with that. I'm like, if that's your faith, if that's your beliefs, you can't force someone to wear a jacket or an armband or whatever. You had the situation with Mark Gay recently where he's put Jesus loves you or something on a rainbow armband, which a lot of people are losing their minds over. I don't know. I feel like these kind of situations are always blown out of proportion, and media and people love over-egging it with these kind of things. He's made that decision. It's an individual decision. It's his individual opinion. He doesn't have to do it. Adidas can be mad. Other people can be mad. For me personally, just a general view on it, I'm as open as anyone. I'm like, do what you want. If you're a lesbian, if you're gay, if you're trans, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. Just don't force your opinions on me. That's the only thing I will say. Don't tell me you have to comment this or you have to do that. Apart from that, it's a free world, man. You want to identify as a fucking chameleon, which, to be fair, Mazraoui is a chameleon, ironically, because he can play anywhere. You want to identify as a penguin, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Doesn't bother me. We're all human. We're all person. And, yeah, the message I was sending is love. So, yeah. Again, I know it's a sensitive topic. I know people feel differently about it, but at least try and be respectful. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest, I've not seen much of Yoro. Is he as quick as people say? Yeah. If you've watched him, there was a situation in the French league, last season, where he had like a 1v1 versus Mbappe and could keep up with him. He can keep pace. So, yeah. Last stop ahead, who's a member, saying, I think he brings Maggie in to deal with Gabriel's aerial threat. That's a great point. Would be nice to see Lenny, but I feel it's too soon. Yeah, I feel the same, man, honestly. Completely agree with United. That's Dan Errington. Christopher saying he's a grown man with his own beliefs. Good for him. Cam saying Mazraoui LGBT. Yeah, so the situation I'm talking about, if you don't know. I just don't know why this had to be reported. It just brings unnecessary hate to our player of the month who ain't put a foot wrong. James saying, regardless of who pays him, what he's entitled to believe what he wants and follow his beliefs. I think he's right. We can't force anyone to believe in anything. Brian saying, well said, Nick. Completely agree. I can't believe the FA were looking to fine Gay for the I love Jesus message. Glad they reversed that, but it should have never been in consideration anyways. If he didn't play for United, he wouldn't even be reported. We're always headline makers, regardless of the size of the incident. I'm glad there's a lot of intelligent people in the chat today, because sometimes you get idiots who are just like, they'll just say something just to get attention or just for the sake of it. So yeah, I think that's very calculated conversation as a collective. Big up Shreyas in the chat as well. But look, yeah, we spoke about Luke Shaw, we spoke about Lenny Yoro, Ahmad's future, the whole situation with LGBTQ with Mazraoui and the armband and the wearing a certain thing, which is fine. But obviously it is game night tonight. The focus is going to be Arsenal. It's away at the Emirates. We're playing them again in the FA Cup in the Emirates as well, which is going to be super tough. They are starting to peacock again. Ødegaard, fantastic player. Saka scoring goals. They're scoring goals off set pieces, which I'm extremely worried about tonight. I think that's going to be difficult dealing with that threat, because I remember Amorim even talking that we've got a small team. When Rashford scored against Everton, he was talking like, we have a small team, so we have to come up with solutions. And you can bet your bottom dollar, mate, that Arteta is assessing the game tonight and he's going to be looking at it and he's thinking, we can get at these through set pieces. Saka or Gabriel, you've seen the combination. It's almost impossible to stop. So whoever it was, I think it was either Rainator or it might not be Rainator. Sorry, last up ahead, I think it was. He was talking about Maguire coming in for his height. I remember only doing a similar thing when we played Burnley, and he'd bring in Matic and McTominay just to deal with that. So I think you might see a similar thing tonight. Richard saying, have a feeling he'll play Mount and Garnacho with Hoyland. Excuse me. Have a feeling he'll play Mount and Garnacho with Hoyland and Bruno in the midfield with Ugarte. Matt Adams saying, not even just set pieces, you'll be too open in the middle when you try and press. Ugarte and Casemiro, though, I've got confidence in those two breaking up play. It's going to be a tough game. Amorim said we're in different phases. Arteta's been there nearly 6 years. He's won one COVID Cup in 6 years, you know. So, obviously, as a team, he's had a lot more time. He's had years and years and years worth of coaching, pre-seasons, you know, bringing in his own players. They're at a completely different stage. So, obviously, if they do win the game and it's a 3-1, after it, they'll try to tell you, oh, I thought Amorim was the one, and they'll try giving you shit. But let's be honest. Look at Arteta's start to life at Arsenal. Wasn't a bed of roses, was it? Do we all remember? So, bear that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but perspective is important heading into this one. And I think what you're at least going to get from it is a sense of where we're actually at. Because everyone's calling this the big test. It's one of the toughest tests in Europe, I would say, especially at the Emirates. So let's see what we're made of. That's the attitude I'm going in with it. I want to see what we're capable of. I want to see what Amorim's capable of tactically, individually. I think it's an exciting game tonight. Unfortunately, guess what? This will be the first game I miss in God knows how long because I'm working tonight. So Sam will be doing the pre-match build-up with Chivy, who has got a lot of Arsenal friends, so that should be interesting. Hopefully you guys will join them for that and get your opinions in. And I will be there for the post-match ready and cooking and ready to go. So, look, all I can say and finish it on this note is I hope you all enjoy the game. Whether you're a neutral, a United fan or an Arsenal fan, I'm really looking forward to this tonight to see where we're at. And look, if we get a result, amazing. But I think we know it's step by step in a minute. Step by step. Big up everyone in the chat saying United. There's a lot of support for the Reds in there, which I love. Maybe Cass will be on Gabriel for corners. Rainator saying, I'd love to see Mount in some shape or form tonight. I think Mount will play an important role, even if it's off the bench, to be honest, lads. I really do. Big up everyone following on TikTok as well. Nearly, what hit 30k, man. We're so close to it. So anyone who's following, each individual person, I really appreciate it. Ruben won't lose this at the very least. The draws incoming is a different breed of manager. Brian saying it's been 6 years and they've still won feck all. Just mind games from Amorim downplaying the game. It's all gone quiet on the Anthony front recently. Yeah, I don't know. He's a rotational player, isn't it, at most? It's a very late kickoff tonight, isn't it? I'm predicting a 2-2. Yeah, 8:15 kickoff for anyone who doesn't know. On Prime, I think. Amazon Prime. I mean, I'll be hosting at 5, but I'm gonna have it on my phone. So yeah, 2-1 United. Come on, lads, have a good one, mate. Thank you. Last up ahead, and Christopher Bree saying, "Come on, United." Right, guys, we'll leave it at that till 8:15. Everyone who's watching right now, come and join us for the pre-match build-up around 7 o'clock. Usually we have early team news. So yeah, we've got plenty of time to dive into all the specifics. And yeah, look forward to an exciting game. So appreciate you as always. I hope your rest of your day is nice, and I'll catch you guys for the post-match